Have you been also wondering why a country as Finland, with cold winters, darkness, seasonal depression, introverted people, and high taxes, is ranked as the happiest country in the world for the 8th year in a row? Hi, I'm Dilnaz. I have been living in Finland for 3.5 years now, and today I'm going to reveal 20 secrets of Finnish happiness according to my personal experience of living in this country. And one note to say is that, of course, I'm comparing it to my own background and the places where I have been living in. And if in another country the situation is the same, please let me know in the comments, and let's see how Finland compares to other European countries or Nordic countries, for example. But let's jump into the first reason. Here I must say that the World Happiness Ranking is not actually evaluating how happy the person is, so there is no direct question about, are you happy? Tell me now. It's more about how contented people are they satisfied with their lives? And I feel like this feeling of satisfaction with life comes with the coverage of the basic needs of a human being, and in Finland those are covered pretty well, in my opinion. Everyone has food or access to affordable food if they don't have resources to buy food, but everybody has access to water, food, basic education. The literacy rate here is 100%, and I just wanted to say that this is like the baseline, the core of how to become happy. And it does not mean that people who are in still survival mode, maybe they don't feel happy. Of course, everyone is able to feel happy and find joy in their everyday life, no matter what life circumstances are. It depends on the mindset and the personal characteristics. But I'm just saying that in Finland and in other places where the basic needs are covered, it's maybe easier for people to become happy. But if you don't agree, of course, let me know in the comments. It's just my opinion, and everything here is probably biased and is based on my own personal views. Secondly, I think the basic needs don't only cover the education or food provision and other things, but also it's about the access to nature and water resources. And in Finland, the situation with that is super good, in my opinion, because now I'm filming here in the park. It's pretty small around the church, but it's basically 2 minutes away from my home, and you can find any green space if you go like into any direction from my home, and it's accessible, it's free, you don't need to pay to come into the park. And another thing is that there is access to water sources as well, which was super rare in my home country. Last week I was actually on a course analyzing the effect of green and blue spaces on people's well-being, both physical and mental well-being and social well-being. And there it was said that blue spaces, they have even more positive effect if they're accessible to city dwellers than access to green spaces. The abundance of lakes in Finland maybe makes people happier. Yeah, I feel like lakes bring a lot of joy, and they're the places of social gatherings and just the places of peace and stress relief, in my opinion. I don't know if wind makes me happy. Next reason is about the work-life balance that exists here in Finland and is pretty strict about following it, I would say. It's really weird if you see someone working after 4:30 or after 5, depending on the company rules. And if you're doing so, maybe someone would be concerned and ask, is everything good at home? Why are you still staying at the workplace? So yeah, I feel like work-life balance is one of the most important things, at least that I find now as a young adult or adult who just entered the working life. And I feel like it's super nice that after 4 on Friday I can do whatever I want and I don't need to stress about the work things until Monday morning. Whereas in other countries, grinding culture is so hyped up that people need to constantly work, and there is also a feeling of being left behind if you don't work, for example, on weekends. But in Finland, you feel peaceful in this sense. And another aspect of work-life balance is the necessary or at least accessible holidays. So for example, now I'm working on my thesis and I need to take into account that people are not available during summertime because they're on their holidays, especially in the mid-June until the end of July probably. So I don't expect people to respond to my surveys or interviews for my thesis because I know that they're taking their own time and spending it with their closed ones. Next aspect related to both of the previous aspects that I said is accessible hobbies. I feel like in Finland, it was really tough for me to find the places where you can enroll into hobbies, and maybe the enrollment times are pretty strict. It's for the autumn semester and then for spring semester, but the prices are very affordable. So if you want to learn a language, to do crafts and arts, or practice yoga and Pilates, the hobbies are really accessible through this kansalaisopisto entities that provide this hobby and extracurricular classes, courses to people, and they have different discounts based on people's like life situations, or for elderly people, for children. There are different types of fairs. For example, I was going to art classes and there was a wide range of age groups. There were 17-year-old girls who were sitting next to me, and at the same time there was a grandpa who was 75 years old and telling about his life stories and beautiful places in Finland that he was visiting. So I really like that there is no age stigma here. Everybody can do whatever they love and what they want to do and what they enjoy, no matter what life situation or in what age they are. Another aspect of that is how people can live different lives in a sense. For example, I had a teacher in the university, and during daytime she's like a teacher, but also when I was going to my ice skating classes, teacher from the university, she was in a semi-professional team there, and they had their rehearsals and practice like training classes after us, and I was so amazed by her. Like, that's super cool to be able to do multiple things at a good level. I feel like it's really common among Finnish people. So, for example, if you take Alexander Stubb, the current president of Finland, besides doing his daytime job, he's a sports enthusiast, and I think he's a triathlon athlete. Correct me if I'm wrong. I really love that people have multiple interests, and it's not discouraged like, oh, you need to focus only on one thing, otherwise you're not good at anything. It's pretty open and free, and everyone can do whatever they want. Another thing coming from that is the feeling of freedom. I feel like people in Finland, they are so free to do whatever they want and choose the path that they feel like is theirs. For example, you can choose after upper secondary school, do you want to continue in vocational school or high school, and do you want to go to the university afterwards or not? And nobody looks down on your choices, because I feel like in many countries it's quite expected that you're going to finish high school, go to university, obtain your master's degree and all of that until you turn like 23 or 24 years old. But in Finland, nobody looks down on those people who choose a different path, not the conventional path. And if they take gap years or if they work in other fields, it's not something to be ashamed of. It's even kind of encouraged when people choose one field and then they transfer into another field, because it means that they truly realized what their path is and what they're interested in. So I feel like this feeling of freedom is also one of the reasons for the Finnish happiness. Also connected to that, I feel like here people are not afraid of making mistakes. That's something that I really appreciate, and I'm trying to learn it as well. People go to one program and they want to change to another, and they don't perceive it as a failure, they perceive it as an opportunity, or they want to change career path. They're not afraid of doing mistakes, and they embrace them rather than being afraid and just doing what you are used to do. I really want to learn it through practice. I really appreciate that people here, they're not only not afraid of doing mistakes themselves, but they also allow others to make mistakes. So for example, like university lecturers or thesis supervisors, they allow me to make mistakes and learn from my own experience rather than them micromanaging me into the right path, if you know what I mean. And continuing from that, I feel like this feeling of freedom comes from nobody expecting something from you. There are no expectations at all. Of course, there are some, like you need to come on time, you need to respect others and respect the rules and the laws. But for example, if you're coming to someone's place, it's not expected that you really bring some present or a big gift. You can come just the way you are, and you're appreciated for your presence and just sharing the happiness and joy. And it works on the other side as well. So if you're coming to someone's place and you don't bring anything, you also don't expect the other person, like the host, to put a full 3-course menu on the table for you. While in other countries, I think it's quite expected. Because of that, having guests over, it feels more like a burden rather than a nice time to catch up with your friends or family. There are no expectations on what you wear, for example. In the city, you can see people wearing whatever they want. It can be from one style to another. And I feel like people don't care about what you wear, and that's also really relieving, in my opinion. At the same time, I feel like in Finland, on one side, people treat clothes as a way of self-expression, but on the other side, clothes don't matter that much. People don't buy as much of clothes as other countries, and you can see it not only by how people dress, but also the selection in the stores. It's very, very small, in my opinion, and general. It does not follow all the fast fashion trends that are available in the world. So it's quite good. I save a lot of money by living in Finland and not spending on clothes. And again, talking about the society, I feel like nobody here expects you to be in a good mood or talkative mood. And that's also relieving to me, because I don't need to be super extroverted to be connected to others. Some people might say that it's really sad that people don't do this kind of small talks, but also that's not so true, because over the past 1.5 years I have been learning Finnish, and now I can talk on a conversational level, and I realized that actually Finns have a lot of small talks, like about the weather or the upcoming holidays or the past holidays or about the food. Like they have a lot of small talks, and I feel like it's just from the international English-speaking perspective, it feels like Finnish people are really closed and they don't talk too much. But in Finnish they do talk. Just to let you know, because I also didn't know. And I was really surprised. Other than that, I think one of the reasons for Finnish happiness is love for active lifestyle. I feel like it's accessible in all ages, and people from the age of 2 years old or even newborns, they go to swimming classes. I saw 2-3-year-old kids trying to play hockey with their mini sticks. And just now in the park, while I was recording this video, I saw grandmas jogging here. So I feel like active lifestyle and doing it not only inside, indoors, but also outside, in the forests, in the green areas. It also has some positive impact on our physical and mental well-being. And as I'm recording this video now in the park, it's 15 or 17 degrees and it's mid-May. And I feel like this spring-summer season is really highly appreciated by Finnish people or people who live in Finland, because after a long winter, summer feels like a reward. And you really take everything out of these sunny days, warm days. Like today I decided to film outside because I can do that and not freeze. So this is one aspect of Finnish happiness, that when you are lacking sun and warmth, you learn to appreciate those things. Another reason for Finnish happiness, I feel like, are traditions that people follow. And maybe some people think that Finnish culture is not as vivid as other cultures, but I feel the traditions that are coming from year to year, from season to season, and it's really nice to witness. For example, now it's May in Tampere, and I know that soon it's going to be the international market with different cuisines, products from different places. Or when the June is coming, we know that it's going to be midsummer vacation or holiday. And each season, is it like autumn or spring or winter, or even each month, you know that something is coming up and people take time to celebrate it and take time to decorate their houses and also eat the designated pastries that are related to that celebration. And that's really nice. I feel like this predictability in what is going to happen, at least inside of the country and inside of the families, is something that also brings happiness and joy, because human brain does not work well when everything is in uncertainty. And in the modern world, when there's so much of uncertainty, it's really nice to have this small anchors, if I would say, that bring you back to your own roots and traditions. Continuing on this social interaction and society in general aspect, I feel like in Finland the sense of community and unity is really strong. There are a lot of clubs, associations, unions in different industries. You can find any club or association that you are interested in, writing club, poetry club, or something related to anime, to sports, to military, everything. Like, you can find people that are interested in the same thing, and I think it's really beautiful to see and to find like-minded people in the country. Even though people might not interact that much with strangers, I feel like people are quite active with the people who are like-minded with them or who work in the same field as them. So there's a lot of sense of being united, in my opinion. And continuing with the culture things, sauna culture, really important, brings warmth and helps with staying sane in this insane world. At least in my opinion, I feel like it refreshes your mind, body, especially if you go to the cold plunge into Avanto. It's like the ice hole in the lake, which brings the emptiness in your head that most of us, or at least me, miss in everyday life when there is like so many of things and thoughts that you need to remember. So I think sauna culture is also one of the aspects of Finnish happiness. Next thing is sisu. This is a concept of not giving up, even if it's something really hard, challenging, but still pursuing the goal that you have in your mind. And I feel like in Finnish people it's really strong. Like, even if they don't like something, they just continue. And maybe it's also related to like long winters, harvest season, and all these aspects being together, that Finnish people, they are not going for some immediate joy or immediate benefit. I feel like here people understand matter of discipline and consistency. Two more things on my list, and I feel like the last one is the core of Finnish happiness, but now I wanted to tell about the strong family values that I see in Finnish people. I feel like they really value those who are close to them, the family, close circle of friends. Sometimes it feels like in the modern world all these family values are a little bit misused in a way or forgotten in another way, but in Finland I still feel like family is really important to people, and everybody comes, for example, to the Mother's Day or Father's Day. Everyone celebrates it, visits their parents, grandparents, and it's really beautiful to see. Last secret of Finnish happiness, I think, is trust. There is this really strong trust culture in Finland. They trust each other, and that's something that brings people together and gives also like peace of mind, because you know that the verbal agreements are as strong as the written agreements, and people usually follow all the rules that they set for themselves, or they are the people of their words. That's what I can say. Thank you so much for watching this long video. I hope you liked it. And if you have more secrets of Finnish happiness to reveal, I would appreciate any feedback for my video. I hope you're all happy and find joy in your everyday life. Thank you so much. Moi moi!